Hey everybody, my name is Ben Sand, and this is a kid's book about white privilege. And first, to the kids in my life. For Ada, Zoe, and Julian, let's use what we've been given to change the world. Love, Dad. Hi, my name is Ben, and this is my book about white privilege. White privilege? What's that? Well, first I have to explain to you what I mean by white. I want you to look at the color of your skin. What color is it? When I look at my arm, it's kind of pinkish, reddish, beige, like the color of this page. But when people talk about what color I am, they would say white. But why? If white is actually the color of this page, and my skin looks different, then what does it mean that I'm white? Well, grown-ups a long time ago decided to create labels for people. These labels were determined by skin color. There's a long, complicated reason for this that we don't have time to get into. Some of those labels were white, black, brown, etc. Okay, so now we need to talk about the other word, privilege. Privilege is when someone has an advantage they haven't earned. Like when your classmate is always chosen to be team captain just because their mom is the coach. Or when you're racing your friend, but they get a head start. So then what is white privilege? White privilege is when people who are white have additional benefits, advantages, and fewer barriers to overcome than people of color. People of color are folks with black or brown skin or of a specific race or ethnicity. But that doesn't mean that if you're white, you aren't talented or smart or your life is easy. It means you have extra privileges just because of the color of your skin. Really? Yeah. Really? So what are some of those privileges? Sometimes they are small. And sometimes they're really big. Like the privilege of always seeing people who look like you in books and movies. That might seem like no big deal, but imagine if no one looked like you in your favorite movie. Wouldn't that make you feel left out or sad? Or it can be in the people who are usually in charge, like teachers or your parents' boss and presidents. Those people are usually white. This is something you've probably never really thought about, and that's okay. But don't you wonder why those people are often white and not another color? White privilege could also be in the things that you don't have to worry about, that people of color do. Like feeling unsafe when you walk past a police officer. Having people assume you're bad at something because of the color of your skin. Easily finding a Band-Aid that matches your skin tone. Or people always asking you where you're really from. These are just some of the ways that white privilege can show up without anyone noticing. In fact, part of having white privilege can mean that you don't even know you have it. The thing about white privilege is that you don't have to think about being white. This was also true of me. As a kid, I never thought about being white. I never thought that I had extra privileges, but because of my white privilege, strangers smiled at me when I walked down the street. I would get invited to more places and parties. I felt safe when out and about. I had more opportunities. People didn't look down on me, and I had a better shot at success. I had all of these advantages, even though I grew up without a dad. No money, and never really knew what tomorrow would look like. Having white privilege doesn't mean that everything about my life is perfect or better than a person of color. It means that I had a head start. I didn't earn that head start. I didn't ask for that head start, but I had a head start because I was white. But here's the thing. I could feel guilty about my white privilege, which I did for a while. But what good would that do? Who would that help? It doesn't make me a bad person to have white privilege, but I can't pretend that it doesn't exist. So instead of feeling guilty, I realized I needed to see it. It was up to me to accept that my privilege was there and learn more about it and how it affects the people around me, especially people of color. Use it for good. I also learned that I could use my privilege for good. You can too. Commit to listening to people of color, learning from them, and helping others without your privilege, which sometimes means stepping back and letting them take the lead. And give it up. Since I didn't earn my privilege, it's not really mine, but I have the power to give it up. When it puts me at the front of the line, when it gets me in the way of something else or someone else, or when it can lift someone else up. It's not always clear how to do this, but it's important to try. When we do these things, we shouldn't expect an award for it. It's just the right thing to do. Seeing your white privilege isn't easy. It took me a long time. Using it for good and giving it up, that's even harder. But if you're white and you're reading this book, I just want to say, understanding and acknowledging your white privilege is not just important, it's your responsibility. Have the courage to ask the question, what privileges do I have because I'm white? Then, even more courage to find out the answers. Thanks for listening to a reading of a kid's book about white privilege. See you guys later.